to the All Season Long podcast. My name is John, host and producer.
What's up? I'm Josh, sitting right next to Johnny Boy here.
And I'm Clay on the screen as always. Yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on, boys? Special 4th of July episode coming at you live on this Tuesday morning. Independence Day, America, baby. We're out here. We were discussing before we pressed record here some of the best Independence Day movies, 4th of July movies. Josh, you mentioned The Sandlot. Clay, you mentioned Independence Day. What do y'all think? What do you think is the best?
I mean, since it's called Independence Day, it's got to be probably number one 4th of July movie. But there is a scene in The Sandlot when they're playing baseball under the fireworks. It's pretty epic. But
so it is on Independence Day. Sandlot.
Yeah. It's pretty epic, but nothing more American than killing some aliens. So
there's also nothing more American than playing baseball under the lights of fireworks on 4th of July.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
like the most American thing ever.
That's fair. Are there any other ones that come to mind though?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I mean, there's Independence Day, the sequel.
Yeah, but I don't.
What was it called? Like Reassurance, Resurrection.
Didn't that came out recently, right?
Like 4
Did
years
they really
ago.
do that? I can't think of any other movie that was like based on 4th of July.
I'm sure there's some out there.
Has there never been like a historical movie about like the founding fathers? And if not, why?
I'm sure there has, but
but
none that
nothing
register
like
on my radar.
Yeah, nothing big.
There's there's The Patriot.
Oh, old Mel.
Yeah, Mel.
Old Melly Gibson.
And The Patriot.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'm looking. Yeah, Resurgence, John. It came out in 2016.
Resurgence.
Gross.
Not Reassurance.
No, Resurgence.
Resurgence.
Jaws.
Jaws. That's true.
That's no. Come on.
Yeah, because it
How is
takes
it-
place over the 4th of July. That's the whole big deal. Is like they're trying to get people to come to the beach for the 4th of July because that's such like a busy time to go to the beach. But then the shark attacks happen and nobody wants to go.
I'll count it, but I feel like that's almost like how Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
That's fair.
Yes, that's it. The exact same. Yeah, the same thing.
Miracle.
I don't know what that is.
It's the hockey movie.
Miracle on Ice.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just
that's
called
what
Miracle.
they call it. But
Yeah.
yeah, that can count. We beat
Apollo
Russia, right?
Yeah. Apollo 13. There's some decent ones.
Ooh, is that the one with Tom Hanks?
Yep.
That was
Old
kind of a
Tommy
sad
boy.
movie.
It's a pretty depressing movie.
If
Apollo
you think
13?
about it, it's like
Yeah.
kind of boring. It's just like them in one little tiny like cage the entire time. That's it.
It's a dialogue heavy movie. We're also waiting for the hot dog eating contest to start.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's on a lightning delay.
It's on a lightning delay.
So
The,
that's unfortunate.
What's the girls? The one in the like female competition. She
Glizzy-
won already.
Glizzy Lizzy.
Oh, that's the one that won?
The
Yeah, Glizzy
9-time
Lizzy.
champion.
I think that's her name.
Glizzy Lizzy.
Yeah.
I don't think that's her name.
It's
Okay, okay.
It's like her nickname. It was like,
No, I think so. It was introducing Glizzy Lizzy. I think this was her first entry into
okay,
the.
so she didn't win.
So Glizzy Lizzy did not win.
Okay.
Somebody else won. Clay, I have a question for you though. Do you think Joey Chestnut should be considered one of the best athletes of all time?
I mean, he has to be.
That's
Right.
what we were
That's
saying.
what we were saying.
It's
That's
in
what we were
the-
saying.
The
in
amount of
conversation.
championships, like at this point, it's on ESPN, and the dude has 15 championships, and
Yeah.
you know that people have been trying to stop him, and they just can't.
They can't
He's a
do
monster.
it. This is for 8 in a row.
It's the most dominating, like more dominating than Tiger Woods in the early 2000s.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Alabama football, right? I know that's like not one athlete, but you don't see Alabama winning 8, 9 national championships.
Maybe
in a
Bill
row.
Russell is the only comparison there.
Maybe
It's Joey Chestnut, Bill Russell, neck and neck.
So
in terms of like dominance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the girl who won is named Mickey Sudo.
Okay.
Mickey Sudo. I think she's won 9 championships. So like the people at the top are kind of dominating the hot dog contest. I feel like it's almost like a mental thing now, where if you go up against Joey Chestnut, you've already lost.
You're toast.
Before it starts, because you're just like in your head. You know that
Yeah.
you can't eat as many dogs as this guy.
Yeah, you're just behind the 8 ball from the start.
What's the end game for Joey? Like, how does he? Does he
He's-
retire?
he
Hypertension.
rides off. He rides off into the sunset after, like, he can't eat anymore because his doctor told him if you eat another hot dog,
hey, Joey, you
you
have
will
to
explode. Yeah, but his doctor tells him that he has to retire. I don't like. Do y'all know anything about like how does he prepare? How did he first discover this ability?
I don't know the backstory, but he's got to have some level of preparation for that thing.
Got to.
I mean, he does like what 70 in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think his record is like 78, maybe. Did he get to 80?
I heard a rumor from various sources that he had his gag reflex removed.
Oh,
Ooh.
I'm just kidding. But there is like a cranial nerve that does gag reflex. So maybe like his brain just like doesn't have that as many like nerve endings there or something, you know?
interesting.
That like pain receptor, maybe.
That's wild.
I mean, the way they do it is just so interesting. They dunk the hot dog
in the water. Ooh,
or the
dude,
bun.
It's so nasty.
They separate them. They separate bun from hot dog, which I feel like is cheating, first of all. But I mean, it's the strategy. Whatever.
I mean, it's still the same thing.
Yeah, sure,
That's
but
so
they
gross.
and then they
Like,
just
a
like
wet bun.
Soggy
wet bun,
bread.
just shoving it
sogged up.
down the esophagus. I mean,
God.
it's crazy. And the have you seen the lemonade drinking contest? You know that's a thing too.
See,
Like,
that
how
looks
much-
almost worse. Like it looks
How
like
much? Yeah,
the people look less healthy that do that. You know?
yeah. Those people are always like overweight.
Yeah.
The hot dog. Why? Do you remember even before Joey came to the forefront? There was that Asian guy.
Well, he was in the middle of Joey's run.
The Asian guy was.
Yeah.
He was.
Matt
He actually
Stoney.
beat Joey once, right?
No. That was the. I thought it was from like Japan or something. Like
I know there was
Sashinoshi
there
or
was
something.
Matt Stoney, and he beat him once. And there was another Asian guy before.
I'm talking about the Asian guy in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
He was the guy before.
and he was skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a small little Asian. Japanese descent.
Well, he was
maybe.
just tiny.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I'm looking forward to it though.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, me too. All right. So, what are y'all thinking? Do you want to start sports? Do you want to get into the movie that we watched?
I say we go hot off the press.
Yeah, let's go right into that movie watching experience, the theater experience.
Well, we went to the theater, Clay. you and I did. Josh did something illegal. Josh, what'd you do?
Oh.
Come on now.
Come on.
Let's just say I didn't go to the theater, but I watched the movie.
How are you finding these? Your computer must be just crawling with viruses.
Infested.
Max, baby. No
The one
viruses.
crawling with vulture droids.
No, honestly though, I'm
That's
pretty disappointed that I didn't go to the theater because the quality was
I told you.
left something to be desired.
I told you.
That is
Like
he called me up.
300p.
Yeah, exactly. He called me up and he's like, "Hey, I found the movie. Like, I got it. I pirated it offline. Like, you want to come watch it?" I was like, "No, I don't." I asked him like, "How's the quality? Is the quality good?" And he's like, "Well, the subtitles are in Spanish, so I don't really know." I was like, "Nope, I'm out." I immediately got on Fandango and bought 2 tickets.
There's
Nice.
like a million pop-ups of like hot babes near your area you want to
Oh,
meet up.
God.
It's like, God, why?
Josh like takes a screenshot. He's like,
Come on.
save that for later.
Those are the, I shouldn't have done it, but I still saw the movie. So yeah, but the movie that we're talking about
No, yeah, people don't even know.
is Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny,
Or-
and The Dial of Destiny.
What do we
Diet of
call it?
Destiny.
What are we calling it, Clay?
That's a reveal for later.
Yeah, so we saw the new Indiana Jones, The Dial of
The
Destiny.
5th installment in the Indiana Jones
and
series.
hopefully the last.
Well, I
No,
don't
it's not
think
the
it will
last
be.
at
There's
all.
No way, dude.
It should be.
And yeah, what were y'all's thoughts off the bat?
We're doing non-spoilers, right?
Little non-spoiler action first.
Maybe I hate talking about movies if we don't spoil them.
Well, we'll get there. Just give us a little
Initial
non-spoiler.
thoughts. I'll tell you this. I dozed off in the movie theater. I started to fall
What
asleep.
time did you see it?
Well, the showtime was at 9:30.
It's a long movie.
Oh, that's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Yeah,
and also,
no,
we
it's
don't
not
have
that
work
bad.
today. We're sitting here at like noon. talking
America,
about
baby.
America,
Yeah,
baby.
it's a little matinee pod.
That's what I'm saying. And I usually don't go to sleep until like pretty later anyways. So I was like falling asleep in the movie. So
Oof.
that goes to tell you how I thought about it.
Give
I
us
thought.
give us a little bit more than that.
Well, I thought it was boring. I thought they didn't do anything new. Like things were happening in the movie. Like you had your typical car chase scene. You had like a bunch of your action and adventure stuff, but it was so like surface level crap. Like it just wasn't exciting. It was Indiana Jones minus the adventure. It seemed like it just like everybody phoned it in. Like the script phoned it in. Obviously, Harrison Ford phoned it in. I mean, we all knew that was going to happen. He did his best, but he's just a grumpy old man at this point. I just that's what I thought.
Okay.
What did you think of the CGI Harrison?
Yeah, very obvious.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
obvious. You could tell that he was like. So for if you haven't seen it, there's a part in the movie at the beginning.
I mean, it's in the
specifically.
trailer. It's in the
Yeah,
trailer,
yeah, that's
so.
true. Where they do a young Indiana Jones, and I think how they did it was they had Harrison Ford still play him, but they like CGI'd his face, so he probably like wore stuff on his face, I guess. But
I mean, he was moving he was pretty agile as
Sure.
CGI. I think it like might have been all CGI.
maybe
It might have been.
But like his facial, like when he would do facial stuff, you could just tell that was an old man's face muscles moving.
Maybe, yeah, because it wasn't moving very well.
Yeah, and his voice too. That was the biggest giveaway for me. Was he sounded old, which was weird to see a guy look young but like sound like an old man.
Yeah. I kind of feel, thinking back on it now, it didn't bother me that much though, because you obviously knew what they were doing, so it wasn't so egregious where I was like, this is annoying, you know? Like
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was like a higher quality video game cutscene.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm
And-
reminded of in Star Wars when they did that with Luke for I forget which show. Was that The Mandalorian or Boba Fett? I don't even know because
Mandalorian.
No, it was in Boba Fett actually because Boba Fett, remember, turned into the Mandalorian.
It was in both.
Okay. Well, it was pretty heavy, I think, in the Book of Boba, but I think they did the same thing with that young Luke.
Yeah.
Remember when he was?
And compared to that, I think this looks better.
Yeah,
than
this
that.
looked a lot better. I
Yeah.
agree.
I mean,
agree.
Star
think
Wars
this
has
looked
done that a
better.
lot with
True. Leia.
Tarkin, Leia.
Tarkin, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tarkin's look bad. Tarkin's
Yeah,
did
that
not
was
look
like
good.
Well, that was the first time they did it.
Yeah.
That one looked pretty bad. What did y'all? Give me your thoughts on it. What did y'all think about it?
Yeah, I mean, off the bat, I mean, I agree with you, John. I think that there left a lot to be desired, and in general, I think that it was a movie that wasn't really needed in the series. Like, I don't think it really added anything to the story, and they had opportunities to do so, and they didn't take them, which was disappointing. Like, I feel like I could watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and be perfectly fine with the way that ended and not need this movie at all, which
That's
to
a
me,
good. That's a good take.
to me is like that's the telltale sign of a movie that isn't really that good. So
I like that a lot, Josh. I agree. I think that they were kind of sabotaged by Shia LaBeouf going off the deep end because they basically had to do a complete redo origin of an indie replacement in this movie instead of like continuing on with whatever they had set up with Shy. So that was definitely a miss. The movie basically made me want more, but not in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, I want to know more about what's going on, but I don't care enough to like. I don't want another movie. You know,
Right.
like let's just end it, move on, start a new franchise. You know, which they won't do.
I agree. That's a good way to put it too. It was like unsatisfying, I guess.
Yeah.
Very, very unsatisfying. And I mean, going back to the whole Shia LaBeouf thing, the way that because remember how that movie ended? I forget which scene it was, but Indiana Jones like drops his hat
It was
or
the very
something.
end.
Yeah, and then
The
Shia
wind
LaBeouf
blows
picks
the hat to Shy.
Yeah, and then he picks it up, and I'm like, oh, that's poetic.
Yeah.
But then
It's
Indiana
perfect.
Jones like grabs it back. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he grabs
He grabs it back, and because him and Marion get married at the end of that one,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I mean, I don't think this is a spoiler, but I thought it was kind of disappointing that they were separated again, and then
Yeah.
you know, like that kind of happened in the last one.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like you can't do that twice.
Yeah.
Well, to your point, Clay, they had to pretty much redo the redo. That's what
Yeah.
it seemed like. It seemed
Yeah.
like they were redoing the redo. But I enjoyed the Crystal Skull so much more than this movie. That movie, for the flaws that it has with the refrigerator scene at the beginning with
Oh
the
my
atomic
God.
bomb.
It's like, yeah, that okay, yeah, that's
Like
ridiculous.
all like that's ridiculous, but like that movie is fun. That's a fun movie, right? That's a very enjoyable movie. Like everything with the giant ants and that whole ant scene, and at the end with the like when it's like flooding and the aliens that show up, like that's pretty cool. That was really fun. I don't know, man. Like maybe I was just younger, so and I'd have to watch it again.
It was 15 years ago.
It was 15 years ago, so I just think that I got so much more enjoyment from that than this one. This was so boring. It was so just. It's not a bad movie, but it's also not a good action adventure movie. It's a bad action adventure movie, but not a bad movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the difference for me is like in the past, the movies that I haven't liked, I haven't liked them. I haven't been disappointed. I've been like upset or angry that they were so bad. For this one, I'm just kind of disappointed because they had a lot of potential that they could have gone to. Like archaeology has gotten a little bit bigger these days. Like I think like mainstream outlets have like picked it up and people are interested in it. I think there was like huge potential to go into like actual archaeological like historical things, because that's what Indiana Jones is. He's an archaeologist, and like explore those, but they didn't. They kind of just stayed very surface level, and that's a miss for me.
Yeah. And, I mean, Indiana Jones is it's a big series, and they just kind of like spat in the fans' faces by kind of making a movie like this.
That's
and a lot of it, and we always talk about this, but you know what it is? It's freaking Kathleen Kennedy again.
Oh God,
was she involved in this?
Well, it's a LucasArts.
Oh yeah,
film.
yeah, it was Disney.
Well, it's Disney and LucasArts.
And so,
George, what are you doing, man?
But so John was telling me that Spielberg and George were executive producers on the movie.
Yeah, but
that makes it worse.
With executive producers, though, you never know how involved they actually were. Like you can throw essentially anyone on as an executive producer, and they have nothing to do with the movie, but just because that's just something that happens,
right?
Sometimes.
But those are two huge names. Like, there's no way they didn't have some influence on the movie.
No, I bet you that they didn't. I bet you they didn't. I bet you they like showed up maybe like one day to set or a couple days and like checked out what was going on. That was it. It's dead.
Do we want to get into spoilers? Because there's some other points.
Can. Should we
just start with ratings?
A rating first,
right now. Do a rating. I'd 6 out of 10.
Oh, that's what I had too.
Yeah,
that's
6
pretty
out of 10.
accurate.
Damn it, we need another. We need someone that actually liked the movie to. But
I had
don't
some
know.
good points. I had
right,
some
let's
pros
hear
and
it.
cons.
Let's
Spoilers?
hear it. Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so I'll go into my pros because there were some. I thought the nostalgia in general was nice, like the indie music.
For sure.
I actually kind of liked the CGI indie. Like I thought it hit more than maybe the real indie did at some points.
That's fair.
It was like more action adventure in the beginning than throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
The time travel was cool. That's something that I wanted. Like I wrote down want more of. I want more of like the Archimedes storyline. Like I want more of that. That was really cool. Give me more time travel. I feel like they kind of just, instead of using time travel, they just threw it in at the end, which was really disappointing.
Right.
I also like the puzzles they had, like the water, like where they had to use water displacement to like get down into the tunnel. Like it was kind of like a national treasure. Like I like that. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that too. Also, when they got the tablet and they had to like put it on fire to get the gold piece under it.
I didn't understand really why that worked, but it was cool.
I didn't understand it either.
Also, like it was sitting on wood, so
yeah,
like it just blew out so easily. We didn't like turn anything else on fire.
No, that was it.
Okay,
that was the only
Antonio
thing.
Banderas cameo, which was
Wait,
he was never in any other movie, and Indiana Jones like, I have this guy that I know, and it's like, oh, that was cool though. Antonio Banderas is awesome.
Zorro.
And then he just gets shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
lo-
they
he
did
lo-
him dirty.
they
He
did.
looks
do him
like
dirty.
Pedro Pascal.
He did look like Pedro Pascal. I was thinking it's like an older Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked just like him.
Any other positives from you, Clay?
Um,
And we can
that
go to
was
ours.
pretty much it. Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Do you feel like the bad guy in this movie, they were trying to make him look too much like that bad guy in the first one, Raiders of the Lost Ark? Remember that German guy who also had the glasses, whose like face gets melted off at the end?
Oh,
He
know-
looked similar, but
you
I
know-
don't think they were trying to.
You don't
go
think
for
they were
that.
trying to go for that?
No,
I thought they were like trying
who's
to go
that
for
actor's
that.
name?
it's like Mads something.
I like him, but
Mads
like
Mikkelsen.
honestly, he's kind of like the villain version of Harrison Ford, where he just plays himself, and like because the villain he plays in James Bond, Casino Royale, is like the exact same person as this dude. Like, they're
Yeah.
the same guy.
The range is limited.
The range is limited. Well, they probably like
He's in
they typecast him, I think.
he's in that show. What's that show on Netflix? Dark. Have you guys seen
Oh,
Dark?
the German.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
The German
yeah.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That show's really good, but it's
It's a
also
good show.
very creepy.
It's very it's really.
You're also
creepy.
someone that gets creeped out pretty easily, Clay.
Well, I mean, it's
Like,
creepy.
True, but have you seen the show?
I've seen the start of the show.
So
Okay.
no, you haven't.
The German
it.
kind of threw me off a little bit. I
Yeah.
was like, I don't want to watch and read at the same time.
Come on.
Yeah,
Come on, dude.
Positives. The time I agree with you on the time travel thing, Clay. They set it up pretty well. Like I was pretty excited for
Yeah,
them.
I was
to-
interested, dude. I
Yeah,
was like,
I
oh, let's go.
I was like, they're going in. I was like, please don't divert the plane to miss the fissure. And
yeah, I was worried they were gonna do that.
yeah, and so they actually went through it. I was like, I wanted this to happen like 30 minutes before.
Exactly. I was like,
Yeah.
there has to be like another hour in this movie, right?
But there was,
it's-
like,
it can't
10
be the
minutes.
end.
They spent, they did too much build up to that because the end of the movie was actually good. That was my
Well,
favorite part.
The very end I didn't like the very
Well, the very end was sure, and we can.
But that last part when they go through, that was pretty cool. I was interested in that.
when they go to where Greece,
They
I
go to
guess?
Sicily,
Yeah,
Sicily,
Sicily with the Roman.
but in
Yeah.
in like 2000 BC or something,
200 BC.
200 BC,
Yeah, 200 BC.
when the Romans are attacking. Who?
The Greeks, I guess.
The
Yeah.
Greeks. Yeah, when
Yeah, I don't know.
Archimedes
Is
is there. Yeah,
Archimedes.
and they called the planes dragons. That was kind of cool.
Right.
too.
Yeah,
and
that was
they
cool.
hinted
Yeah.
at that earlier, and then so that was kind of cool, right? Because
Yeah.
they talked about that, how they said they fought dragons or whatever, and then
Yeah.
they ended up being the dragons.
Yeah.
which was
cool.
awesome. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool.
Pretty trippy.
Yeah, and
Pretty
so that was really really interesting and different,
Mhm.
and but like I said, and like we said, it should have happened earlier.
Yeah. I also thought it was cool when they found his grave and he had the watch.
Yeah,
And
that
they
was
found
cool.
Archimedes' grave and they found the
I was
watch
like,
with him.
oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, that was awesome.
Okay, at one point I was like, oh my god, like was that Indiana Jones? Like in the grave.
Oh,
Because you know how he's like, I want to stay here, like leave
Yeah.
me in 200 BC. It didn't end up happening, but I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit, like was Indiana Jones
Was
in the
it
grave?
him? Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny because they had me going there for a second. I thought he actually was gonna stay.
Same.
I'm like, oh, this is it. This is the end of Indiana Jones. And
that's-
I started to think like that's kind of dumb. That's the end of him.
He just goes back in time.
Yeah, he goes back in time and like lives in Sicily or
Well,
whatever.
Well, I thought, yeah, I agree, and that was a part that I thought was kind of dumb. Was
Mm.
that she just punched him, knocked him out, and then took him
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
plane
come
home?
on.
It's like you're not gonna let him decide how he wants to go. Like this is ridiculous.
That sequence was because then like she punches him and the next thing you know he's like they're
Back
back,
in his
in time.
apartment.
You don't see them like fly through the thing.
How do
or
they all
anything.
fit in the plane?
How do they fit in the plane? How did the plane like take off? You need runway for the plane. And they're in Sicily where there's like no flat land. It's all hilly and
There's
you
no
know
tarmac.
there's no none of that.
All right, before we go too deep, any positives from you that we hadn't?
Well, like I
talked
said,
about?
I like the end where they time traveled. I mean, I guess seeing Indiana Jones on horseback, like riding through New York, was pretty cool.
That
I don't
was
know if it
cool.
was New York. I think it was New York.
It looks
like
a
it
little
was-
weird. It looks a little like the CGI wasn't great in that scene.
I don't think that was New York. Was it?
Well, he went in a subway, so not.
Yeah, I don't know if it was New
Yeah,
York.
Where
I
did he
maybe-
teach?
maybe.
I can't remember. I thought like it was
some-
Chicago
it was
or
some-
something.
It was some name. It was like I don't know.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
that scene kind of bothered me. I don't know if it looked that great.
what did y'all think about the girl?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Here we go.
Oh man, are we getting into the cons now?
Sure.
I think that was. I mean, John Williams did the score. I mean, that was. The
Yeah,
last
you
thing
could
that I
tell. You
had.
could tell
Oh yeah,
immediately
it
that John
sounded.
Williams.
I'll get
It sounded
into
good.
that too. Yeah. So for background for the list, I guess if they're listening to this, they've seen the movie, so we don't have to do that. So Indiana Jones's goddaughter, who they just introduced in this movie, we've never seen her before, or we've also
Or her
never seen her
dad.
father in
Yeah.
any other Indiana Jones movie.
And they were like best friends.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like they could have like had him not be dead. They could have had him be stuck in time because he used the dial, and then
Right.
like they were trying to find him in the different fissures. Like that would have been pretty sick.
I also like that actor a lot. That little.
The old
He
guy.
always
yeah.
plays a scientist, and like he's
Look at
usually
him.
German.
Yeah.
Like he's in Captain America. He's like the little scientist in Captain
Yeah,
America.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
Well,
cons.
yeah.
They just got rid of Shy like that. Like I knew it was gonna happen, but the way they did it still like rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, like he just goes to die in the war.
Yeah, they're just
What?
like, I would have told my son not to go to the war because he was gonna die. I was like, what, dude? Come on.
I mean, what else are they supposed to do?
I don't know.
What else are they supposed to do? I didn't have a
was-
problem with that, and I knew that y'all would have a problem with that. But like, what did you want?
Get a
I-
different
I-
actor. Just get
That's
a
what I
different
was-
actor
that's
and
what I
have his
told
son
John.
still in the movie.
They could have just
Yeah.
recasted him.
Yeah.
Tom Holland, man, he's waiting for you. He's right there.
Maybe.
Like, why not recast him?
Because they did
People-
that. They've done that before.
No, they don't do it anymore. It's like they forgot how to like that. That's a thing you can do.
Yeah.
The last big recast that I remember was the guy in Iron Man.
Oh
They got-
yeah.
Yeah, because he got recasted after the first one, and no one cares. Like it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I liked the
The-
first Cuba Gooding Jr. I liked him as that guy, but they got the
So
other
it was
dude.
Cuba
It's-
Gooding.
Yeah, it was Cuba Gooding,
Yeah.
and then Don Shield, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's, but like, why couldn't they just do that for this?
Yeah, and that worked.
Yeah, it works. No one cares. It's a good thing. Just forgot how to
Man.
do it.
Okay, so you didn't like how they did Shia dirty, and I didn't like that either. I like Shia, but what did you think? Like, what did you think about his replacement? Essentially,
Well, see, I have a whole thing on that, so I'll let y'all
Okay.
do that first.
Okay.
The little kid, Teddy, I thought he was just a massive downgrade on Short Round. Like they
I
should have had some
know.
sort of like Short Round cameo or something.
I agree.
That was
Why
a
wasn't he
huge miss. He's huge in Hollywood now too. Like I feel like that would have just been a win-win.
he
overall.
does stuff right.
He won an
Yeah,
Oscar.
he was in
Yeah.
He was in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not enough time travel. No traps. There was like one trap in the whole movie when they were trying to find the grave. The whole thing about Indiana Jones is he's going through these traps and,
Right.
and finding ways to get through, and they barely
Right.
had any of that. And it was good when it was there, so they should have put in more. Oh yeah, and then the cameos, they just threw them in. No backstory, nothing. They're just like,
Just
here's a
too many.
cameo, here's a cameo, and I can go into that later too about
Yeah.
how it kind of triggered me.
Going back to the girl, her character sucked. I'm just gonna say it. She was an asshole.
She was an asshole.
She
was an
wasn't
asshole.
likable. She wasn't likable at
No,
all.
like, why would we care about this chick at all? Like in the very first sequence when she's with Indiana in the library or whatever, she knew those guys were gonna try to kill him,
Yeah, she
and she just
ditched
locked
him.
she just locked the gate.
Yeah.
She just locked the gate after saying like
That's
how
true.
that was her godfather. You know, like we were supposed to believe that they were super close, like that he did a lot to help her when she was a kid. Her dad and him were best friends.
Just so she could
She
like
just lock the door,
go
for-
sell
just
it
go sell it
on the black
for
market.
some cash. Like she just kept talking about
That
cash.
is an ad, and also like this is something that her dad was super into, dedicated his whole life to figure out, and she's just gonna get it and then sell it for money and kill her godfather in the process of that.
And then she keeps doing it. She's like, nothing. There's nothing more true than like cold hard cash.
Yeah, I was like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah,
And
she
just like
sucked.
wasn't likable, and then
Mhm.
they didn't even try to show any kind of story character arc with her, where
Mm-mm.
it's like she grew as a person throughout the movie.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Or like that's that's a normal thing where she could be selfish at the beginning, and then through the troubles and tribulations she becomes a better person, but they didn't show that.
Nope.
No, she like is the same person at the end. The
Yeah.
exact same person.
Yeah.
It's just so confused, like why would it sucked. Did y'all have any other thoughts on her?
Well, I mean, so now that you pointed that out, I could see that. I actually didn't have a problem with her. I thought she gave one of the better performances in the movie. She was actually one of the more like interesting characters, I think. And the reason for that
Because
is
there was nothing else. There was no other options.
well, yeah, exactly. She was like, she was like the only option, but I don't know. She had like a very commanding presence. She owned the scene when she was in the scene.
Hmm.
You know, I thought that not that she's relatable, but she was actually like a very everyday type of person in the sense that she was only, cared about the money and everything else. And I would actually disagree with you. I think that there was a little bit of character development towards the end. I forgot what she said, but I think at some point she did make a remark about how, like it wasn't all about the money or something along those lines. But it was pretty subtle. I remember it being pretty subtle.
Her name is Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Is this her first big movie, or has she been in other stuff?
She was in No Time to Die.
Oh,
I
wait.
don't think she
really?
had a massive role, but yeah, it might be like her. I think she's been in some shows.
I didn't have a problem with her. Again, I had a problem with the kid. I had a problem with him. He had horrible chemistry.
Actor, but yeah.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, but he's like a teenager. Like there's a difference between a kid actor and someone who's like 14, 15, whatever. Like he had no chemistry with her whatsoever. And they're supposed to be like this duo that is scamming people out of these things or whatever.
Yeah, that didn't really make any sense to me.
Dude, it
showed
it showed one scene of him pretending to fly an airplane at the very beginning. Like the very beginning, he's like pretending to fly an airplane, and then he actually gets into an airplane and then like flies it.
Flies it through
through a time warp.
That scene was giving me massive Anakin vibes in Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
when he was like starting it up, Anakin was like, Qui-Gon told me to stay in this cockpit, and he was like, I'm gonna fly the plane.
Now this is pod racing.
He's like, I'll try spinning. That's a good trick. Like that, it gave me massive Anakin vibes, dude, and not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
And also was like the pilot. Like, how did he wake up 20 minutes into the flight?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Into the flight, like you're not starting up the engine, not taking off in an airplane.
Not flying through a time fissure.
Yeah, like 20 minutes after you're going to wake up.
Jeez, man.
He just like, he wasn't funny. He didn't bring anything to the table.
He brought nothing.
He was just there to just be there. He was just a kid that was there.
So I was reading that it was actually Kathleen Kennedy's decision to add that character.
No, dude, don't tell me that.
Did you actually read that? Is that true?
Because they base it off of in Temple of Doom with Short Round. She thought that character could have been better.
Oh my god!
And so that's why they wrote that character in.
What do you mean he couldn't? Dude, Short Round is one of the best.
He's an iconic character.
That's what they said, and that's why he was there.
Do you think? Okay, so do you think she thinks that because it was like not racist, but there was like an Asian, too much of an Asian.
Because he had an Asian accent.
I mean, this guy was like Middle Eastern though.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so he was like they were in Morocco, right?
Yeah.
But at some point, I feel like he was speaking Spanish to another person.
Was he?
No, I don't think so.
I think so. Like when they were on the diving boat, he was like speaking Spanish to like Antonio Banderas, and I was like, it's like what? I'm confused on what this kid like.
Can we go back to that cat? Because
I think there's Spaniards in Morocco.
That kind of just I don't know, but that kind of just that got me going a little bit. So Kathleen Kennedy is the one that put that character in because she didn't like Short Round.
Don't say that lightly. Like, is that true?
Is that actually true?
I can pull up a quote.
So, but you read into it.
Yes.
Okay, I believe you.
That's
ridiculous,
dude. Should we like? Should we take Kathleen Kennedy out?
She's gonna get fired. This
No.
movie's bombing.
Is it bombing? She needs to get fired, but she has too much power.
She's like Palpatine, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
she's
she's
like
gonna fire
Palpatine.
herself.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
She's like, we need to. The movie's tanking. We need to put emergency
Oh,
power to Kathleen
dude.
Kennedy.
I also saw Zack Snyder wrote a Star Wars story for some movies that were going to be rated R with new characters, and it got shot down by Kathleen Kennedy in Disney.
Are they gonna have like Yoda sex or something?
She said the reason why they shot it down is because they didn't use any of the characters that they created in the sequels. It was all new characters.
for good reason.
And so they shot it down.
Okay, so while we're on,
We were
this
about to
Kathleen
get
Kennedy,
an R-rated Star Wars thing, and
While we're
Kathleen
on
Kennedy
this,
shut it
I
down.
want to go into like one of the things that I saw in the movie that I just like I had like an epiphany moment almost.
Oh.
Not in a good way either. So I named it Indiana Jones: The Dial Awakens because I thought the movie was basically Force Awakens. Like it was literally Force Awakens. So this must have been how non-Star Wars geeks felt when they went and saw Force Awakens, when it came out. Because first of all, it was literally the same movie that they've made before, the same Indiana Jones movie.
Mm-hmm.
They introduced a new lead that is just a bland white chick that's British, Daisy
Yep.
Ridley, Ray, and I don't know
Phoebe.
her name, Phoebe. Harrison Ford has a son that is lost, Ben Solo, and his son that Shy plays. He literally says, I've got an old friend in both movies. So that basically means that Banderas is Maz Kanata.
Mm.
And they're fighting the same bad guys. They're
Yeah.
they're always fighting
essentially.
Nazis in Indy, and they're always fighting the Empire in Star Wars. So
Yeah.
it was a remake of an old movie that it just wasn't interesting.
That's a good take. Yeah.
And the music was the same as Force Awakens. It sounded exactly the same. I know John Williams is the GOAT, but dude, it sounds like Force Awakens.
I agree. They made Harrison Ford's character in Indiana Jones and Star Wars and The Force Awakens in this movie the same.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He played the same character.
Yeah, he played
He had the
exact
same humor too.
Yeah, the exact same character. He actually, and that was the cool thing between Indiana Jones and Han Solo is that those
They
were
like different.
They were different, right? They were they had their own thing going on. But this one, he's really now become like the exact same person.
What did y'all think of his performance, just as a whole?
I mean, I thought he was just a grumpy old man.
Well, I think that was how it was written, right?
Sure, but
but that's the Han Solo too. Like he was just a
Yeah.
grumpy old man in Force Awakens.
that's
as
what he's
well.
been. That's all he can play now. Didn't he play that kind of same character in Blade Runner too?
I didn't see the new
Yeah,
one.
it was a little different. Oh, and another thing, his wife doesn't want to see him anymore, aka Leia.
Leia.
He always
Yeah.
said in Force Awakens, "Oh, she doesn't want to see me." Same thing with his wife
Marion.
Marion and Indiana Jones. Also, the cameos in this movie were so Rise of Skywalker-y. Remember how they just threw Lando in and there's no explanation as to why
Why he's
he was
Dude,
there.
yeah,
The
and
same
then
exact thing
Wedge.
for his friends.
Yeah,
In Indy, the Saul just shows up punching the dude, and
Yeah.
his whole family's what the heck, man?
disappointing. Just disappointing at the end of the day. That's all it was. It was it left a lot to be desired. Clay said it best. It's you leave wanting more, but not in a good way. Not in a positive way.
Did it bother y'all that the Nazi antagonists were they always found Indiana Jones no matter what?
Yeah, no matter what.
So quickly.
It was kind of like
Yeah.
National Treasure.
Yeah.
Where,
it's
they were just trailing them the whole time. I didn't
Even,
mind it too much. The part that kind of got me was when the kid just found his way through the maze to the tomb by himself.
Oh, yeah.
What?
He took
I was like,
the
"Excuse me?"
the scenic route through the
Back
cave.
Yeah.
It's a whole mystery in how to get through this cave, and this guy just takes a right and goes down a hallway, and it's the exact same thing.
But it bothered me when when they left, they escaped the boat and they escaped on the other boat. and then the main villain was looking through binoculars, and
He's like, oh, they took a left.
they went west. It's like, how did, like, what?
They went west.
You got a point on that one. That was very loose. Very loose.
Yeah.
Then you know
That's
exactly
a
where
good
they're
call.
going.
That's a good call. He's like, wait a minute.
Went west.
They're going
not east.
West,
Like,
not east.
What? Oh man. Okay.
Shit. Yeah.
Well,
I think the theme for this is just a totally unnecessary movie.
Yeah. it was
Just
a
totally
waste.
unnecessary. You did not need this. I'm struggling to figure out if they have a plan after this. Are they going to hand it off to her and she's going to be the new Indiana Jones? Like, what was the point of this? This seemed like a
yeah.
And even at the end, when like, if this is the last Indiana Jones movie and that's how it ends, I was so like, I know I've said disappointed a lot, but he's just sitting there with Marion and they're hugging and
kissing elbows.
kissing
That was
elbows.
another nostalgic thing.
he's like, oh, it hurts here and it hurts
I
here.
thought he was
It's
gonna,
like,
like hurts here.
that's it. Yeah, he's just down there. That would've been like, is that really how it's gonna end?
No.
The
see,
Shia ending was so much better.
Here's
it
the
was
thing:
so much
is
better.
like they need to stop making movies for the next movie. Like, just
Right.
make a good movie, and then that in itself will lead to another movie if you do it right. But
Right.
like, just the same criticism I had of Guardians of the Galaxy, they're making a movie just to like bolster the next one in the series. It felt
but
like a
Marvel
huge
always does that.
blot on the Indiana Jones franchise, because
like the-
otherwise, great franchise.
it's like they're thinking too far ahead and they're
Yeah.
not focused on what's actually happening.
Yeah.
It's like trying to catch a baseball, but you're trying to think about throwing someone out before you catch
You're
it.
taking your eye off the ball.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Not
it's
living in the moment.
Error.
Error. It's an
Mm.
error.
Mm.
And like, spoiler alert, but at least James Bond had the decency to kill Daniel Craig
Yeah.
as they were moving on to a different James
I
Bond.
mean, they nuked
Yeah.
his ass.
They
Yeah.
killed him.
Oh, he's done.
But like,
He
they
is
couldn't
dead.
Even,
he's
they couldn't
as
do
dead
it
as
with
the people in the
Harrison Ford.
submarine.
They couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
They had to bring him back. They had to have him grab the hat at the end.
Yeah.
They couldn't just let that go.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they shot him, I was like, "Oh, is this happening? Like, it's happening."
It's happening. And then, of course, they just pull the rug from under us. Doesn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, anything else there?
I think
Let-
we
let
did
me- let
it.
me
I
check
think we
my
did it.
notes.
No.
I actually
we
think
did
this has been our like best review so far. We were a little positive at the beginning, and then just trashed it afterwards.
Well,
but-
yeah, I like getting different opinions on it, and I feel like we all felt the same about this movie. But I feel like the general public all feels.
yeah, I
this
feel like
way
there's
about
no
it.
way anyone can unless
like
you're
it.
even a diehard indie fan, I feel like wouldn't like this movie.
Dude,
That's
the
just me,
diehard
though.
indie fans are gonna hate this movie.
Well,
Yeah.
and this is this is my last point on the movie. I'm just tired of seeing them destroy these the main protagonists that we have grown to love and enjoy
Yeah,
and making
yeah.
these movies. Like they did it with Luke, they did it with Indiana Jones, kind of here.
Even Han
where they
Solo, kind of.
They did it with
Did
Han,
Solo.
and I feel like it's just a common trend in Hollywood to just like destroy. And usually it's like the male main character, so that like a female.
Well, I mean, all the
can
main
rise.
characters are male, but
Well, true, but it's like let's just make this person a lot less cool than he used to be, and let's bring up a female lead instead. And I'm
yeah,
cool.
it's yeah.
Like it can be both. Like why not have both? Like I'm cool with having female leads in movies, but why not? Why do you have to make a point to like kill off the male protagonist? Like
Cancel
it's just
him.
kind of
Cancel.
Yeah,
it's just kind of annoying.
it is annoying. It's frustrating too.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
frustrating.
Indiana Jones is a legendary character.
Mm-hmm.
And how are you gonna do him like that? The
Yeah.
same thing with Han and Luke. They did the same thing.
Where
Yeah.
does this one rank in terms of the Indiana Jones movies?
Oh, it's the last.
it's got to be the last.
It's the
right?
worst.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's
definitely.
my biggest thing is I feel like the purpose. I'm going to answer my own question here. I asked before, what was the purpose of this movie? It was to replace the fourth one, which was like that fourth one was the one that was supposed to kind of kickstart a new whatever it may be. But ironically, the fourth one was like so much better than this one. So much better.
Yeah, it was better.
Like Shia LaBeouf was like really good in that movie, I thought. From what I remember, it's been a while since I've seen it, but
Yeah, I mean,
and Indiana Jones was Indiana Jones.
Right.
He didn't feel like an Indiana Jones movie. If you were to call this something completely different, I would have been like, yeah, like sure, that makes sense. And maybe it would have been a decent movie, but because it was Indiana Jones and all that, like it just didn't feel I didn't feel like that universe. It felt like something completely different.
He barely uses whip.
He barely used his whip.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh, I think you make an interesting point. Like I liked the the introduction of Rey, and then they kind of trailed off on that. But you can introduce new characters that are like cool and like have depth without just completely destroying the ones that
The
are
other
already
characters.
there. Like you
Yeah.
can do both. So
You can have both. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
But for some reason, Hollywood just like can't do that.
they have to have like
They
some
can't have
sort of like
both.
moral lesson that like fits the trend of
And that's
whatever's on
fine,
Twitter.
but that's fine if you want to have a moral lesson, right? Like that's always been, they've always had that. But it's the lessons in themselves that are like maybe not as good, or they're not as
Like completely thought out.
yeah, thought out. They're not as thought out anymore. And it seems like now there's a, not to get too like in the weeds here, but it seems like now there's an agenda for how they want us to feel, and like they want to destroy the things that we used to like because of the way the world used to be,
And
it's-
how it is now.
and how it is now, and like they're
Or
trying
how they
to
think it is. now.
yeah, and that's which is fair. I can understand why they're doing it. They want, because especially with kids, like you're consuming all this media, you're consuming these movies and all this stuff, and you want to, if you're trying to make a change in society and you want to make a change just in general, like the first way to do that is to, impact the kids
Yeah.
and have them grow up that way. And so that's why they're like, I think that's why they're just destroying everything, and so that we can be progressive and like move forward as a society. And a lot of people don't like that. I'm one of those people.
I think it's fine if it's done
The right way.
the right way, but
Yeah.
I don't think they can really do it the right way. They've shown time and time again that they can't.
I haven't seen anyone yet that's been able to do it the right way.
Yeah, there's not a lot out there. But
Yeah, there's
another
not.
thing that I'll mention, we were talking to our parents about this. Indiana Jones had some like horror factor in it. Like with like some of it was scary.
The Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom,
Yeah.
even Raiders and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, like that was kind of scary at the end with the aliens and
Mhm.
stuff. There was none of that. Here.
It was a kids movie. It
Yeah.
kind of felt
Well,
like a kids movie.
Wasn't
Well,
it PG-13 though?
Yeah, so fun fact, the Temple of Doom, the second movie, was the reason why they came out with the PG-13 rating. So PG-13 did not exist before the Temple of Doom, but when that movie came out, the people were like, okay, well, this isn't PG and it's not rated R, and it's like somewhere in the middle. Because Clay, when's the last time you saw that movie? Like, there's actually some pretty disturbing scenes in that.
The monkey brains.
They're eating monkey
He
brains and
grabs the
bugs.
heart out of his
Yeah,
chest.
like burning, people
It's
alive.
like
Like it's
beating in his hand.
Yeah, that
it's-
was
it's
kind of
kinda
scary, dude. When he like
Yeah.
just nails into the chest. I was like,
Yeah.
oh god.
I wouldn't say it's scary. Clay,
Well, it's like
but-
horror. It's like horror though, kind of.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
There's, like,
there was none
disturbing.
of that. It was
None of
too
it.
like clean cut.
Yeah.
In this one.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was clean except for Harrison Ford's hair. It's disheveled the entire movie.
Nappy,
Like he just woke up.
nappy head.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Well, do y'all want to move on? What do y'all think? We're at about the 50-minute mark
I
here.
mean, that
We
could
can-
be the
we
whole
can-
show.
We could run through some things quickly if we want, but
just like some quick topics on it.
Well, there are some quick news and notes.
yeah.
Let's just do quick news and notes, and then we'll wrap it.
Well, let Clay. Since we've been talking about movies, let's talk about. Do you want to talk about the Superman, Batman news that have come out recently?
Yeah, let's do that.
So, Superman was cast in the new DCU.
It's not Henry
I'm sighing
Cavill
right now.
or whatever his name is.
David
goat, Henry Cavill.
Cornsweat.
What? What's
David Cornsweat.
Corn Sweat?
Cornsweat.
Corin Sweat.
Cornsweat.
What kind of a name is that?
I have no
Cornsweat.
idea.
He must be from Nebraska or some shit.
But Nicholas Holt was in the running for it and didn't get it.
Which one's Nicholas Holt again?
He was in Renfield.
Oh yeah. Still haven't seen that.
So yeah, that was an interesting note that I read, was that Nicholas Holt tried out for Batman and Superman and didn't get either role, but
Yeah.
he's being considered for Lex Luthor now. So it's like a like he
Interesting.
actually hates those characters in real life too, which would be kind of cool. I think
Yeah,
he would have some real passion in his performances.
that's true. That is cool.
I heard the Skarsgård brothers are trying out for Lex Luthor too.
Who?
Bill and
I forgot the other one's
I
name.
forgot the other one's name too. One of them, Skarsgård.
One of them was It.
Yeah, one of them is It, and
Oh
then
no, come on.
oh, he was good. Yeah, he's
God,
good. He's good. No, they do some good
The
stuff.
clown.
Literally.
So they're also casting for. So there's going to be a different Batman too.
What?
Why are they not doing
Why?
Pattinson?
How many
Why?
Batmans are there going to be?
Why are they doing another one?
So
So,
this-
wait, so what's happening with
Oh,
Robert
my
Pattinson's
God.
Batman?
It's still going to go. But
There's-
this.
so we're
this
gonna have
is-
two Batman franchises going on at the same time.
Yeah.
The
Why?
Batman role is the
Extended-
whore of Hollywood, man.
It's the-
Like,
It's
like,
passed
every
around.
year, it's like, hey, we got a new Batman coming up. It's like, dude, no, like just keep the same one for like a little bit.
It's like, oh no, not again.
It's called The Brave and the Bold right now. And it's going to focus on him and his son, Damian. Bruce Wayne's son, Damian, as well.
Okay, so
But it's the extended DCU. It's like the new James Gunn DCU.
and the Flash is part of it, but all the others
No.
aren't, right?
No. The Flash is actually like the last of.
I thought
The
it was
Flash-
the new one.
No. I thought that too, but the Flash and the Blue Beetle and that new DC movie. Have you seen trailer for that?
Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle.
I've seen.
Yeah,
it.
I tried not to pay attention to that because, I mean, I'm sure some DC people are interested, but I have no idea who the Blue Beetle is,
I don't
and
either.
I just don't have time for like a crap movie that I also don't know who the character is. Like,
Yeah, and apparently those were like the last of this DCU, and then the new Superman and the new Batman are going to be the beginning of the
That's
new
crazy.
DCU.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so done with DC. I'm done
they're
with
just
like
trashing the Flash. After.
I just want. I don't. Can we go? Can we go like 2 years without making a superhero movie from DC or Marvel?
No,
just 2 years.
no, that's
They
impossible.
They
dude.
won't
just
do it.
2 years, dude. Like I'm
They won't
so
do it.
sick. I'm tired of the same content
Well,
coming out every single
eventually-
year.
Eventually, it will happen because if they stop making money, then they're going to stop making the movies. Like,
But I don't think they're
In-
gonna stop making money though.
yeah, they are. Indiana Jones cost like
Oh.
$300 million to make.
It was insane.
It's
And-
bombing, right?
And they did 60 million in the first weekend,
Yeah, they're bombing
Jeez.
big time.
which was, I think, the Temple of Doom, or not the Temple of Doom, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull did like 250 in the first weekend.
Damn.
Yeah.
and that was like in the 80s, right, or like the 90s.
Well,
No,
No,
that was
the one in
Oh,
2008.
okay, Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crystal Skull.
Crystal
So-
Skull.
Chris.
I mean, that's
Here-
Online.
What? So the Batman with Pattinson, Robert Pattinson's Batman,
Yep.
that movie did very well, and I thought it was very good.
Why the fuck are they changing it again?
Everyone
not
thought it was
changing-
good. Everyone
not
thought it was good.
changing
Why
it.
are
But
they? getting-
why not just implement him?
Yeah, just use
into
him.
the-
You don't
Just
have
use
to have
him.
a
Just
new
use his
Batman.
story.
Because we know that they're gonna make another Robert Pattinson Batman, right? You don't have to make
Two
an
more.
additional Batman. Like, just use him. I don't get it. It's not like there's 50 Iron Men. They just use Robert Downey Jr. That's it, and that was good. There's not 50 Thors.
it
There's
doesn't make
too-
sense.
Like, it's too
It's pretty
jumbled.
dumb.
They
It's
need
too
to do a
jumbled.
clean wipe. Like John said, it's never going to happen, but they need to do a clean wipe. 2
Of
years.
everything.
Slate.
Let everyone forget about what's happened and start over with a plan. That's what they need to do.
I feel like they've tried.
They've
that.
done that so many times, though. They've already
That's like
tried
the
to
whole
do that.
generation thing. Like the whole in Marvel, they did it with the generation, right? Or is that what they called? Like
Generation? What are you talking
there was
about?
like the second generation, third generation.
Oh,
Marvel-
phases.
Phases.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
phases.
Yeah.
Phases.
Yeah, but it's
yeah.
still like the same story, though. It's still all the same canon. This one, they're like
Yeah,
changing
they weren't
the canon.
switching out the characters in each.
We're never. Yeah,
phase.
we're never gonna see like the Batman from Henry Cavill. What is his name? Henry Cavill.
Yeah, Henry Cavill.
We're never
Dude,
gonna
Henry
see that
Cavill's
story.
actually like I can't believe they got rid of him. He's
Dude,
kinda the
he's
goat.
like the perfect
He was-
Batman. I mean, Superman. He's the
Yeah.
perfect
He
Superman.
was the perfect Superman.
he's
and
the
then-
goat.
He's the goat. And they even he was in the end scene for Black Adam.
Yeah, well,
they're gonna-
that was the Rock's choice, and they said they
said,
they
"Nah,
threw the
Rock."
Rock out.
Yeah, I threw him under the bus.
Oh, the Rock.
Oh, so
right.
there's a couple more. Like, there's nothing really going on in sports, so we can stick with movies, right?
Yeah, we'll just have this be a movie one.
The trailers in Indy. I thought, like, I saw the Mission Impossible trailer.
Yeah,
It's
that
gonna be
looked
two
good.
parts, of course,
Right.
because that's how they do it these days.
It's
It
like the
looks-
last one, I think. That's why they're doing it. in
Yeah,
two
it looks
parts.
pretty good though. I think it's gonna
Yeah.
be good.
Mission Impossible always usually hits.
It always hits.
Tom Cruise, he comes through. You know,
Yeah,
he's
the action
all
sequences
reliable.
are good. The
Mhm.
like scale, like they always visit really pretty places, and they do a
Yeah.
good job of like capturing the scale of like whatever city they're in.
Yeah.
Which that's my big beef with
feel-
like DC and stuff is like they go to these different locations, but it just seems like they're always filming in one room, not
Yeah.
like an actual place.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and he always has good-looking women. That
Yeah,
are
so
shooting
that's what I was gonna
guns,
say.
so-
Mission Impossible and James Bond are two series that like always
Always
gonna-
deliver.
They're always
It's
gonna
like a
deliver on their
quintessential
movies.
dude summer movie that I will
Yeah.
see.
Yeah,
I will
yeah,
see.
yeah, 100%.
So on that topic, that just made me think that Top Gun Maverick was what I wanted Indiana Jones to be Top Gun Maverick. Like how
Yes,
good that
dude.
was.
Yeah.
Top
And it
Gun
just-
Maverick delivered.
Yeah, it
right.
did.
And like they just couldn't do it.
Yeah,
They couldn't do it. But that's like that was
yeah.
the standard of like legacy sequels, I guess,
mm-hmm.
that we have now.
Yep, and just couldn't do it.
Oh, I had one more box office bomb. Y'all might have not even heard of it. It's the Sea Kraken movie, the animated one.
Oh, the animated one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that one apparently.
Wait, that came out?
Yes, it
I thought it
came
was-
out. I think it
Looked
grossed
bad.
about $30 million, and the budget was like in the 300 million.
What?
Like it's like Pixar's worst movie they've
no,
ever.
no,
come
it
out.
wasn't. It wasn't Pixar. It was
Or
it
Illumination.
was Illumination. Yeah,
Dang.
it was bad, really bad. But
Ruby,
I
Ruby
never,
Gillman, the teenage Kraken.
dude, I never got
Oh, I think I
behind
saw
that.
that.
I never got behind that. Like she's a
Trailer.
kraken, but then she's like only a kraken at certain times. It's like a werewolf situation.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
actually,
Like-
the numbers are worse than I quoted. It
that was pretty
grossed-
bad. It could be worse.
It grossed $5 million in the U.S.
Oh,
and the budget was $70 million. Like,
no.
and it's like telling that no one even knows what this movie is or like that it came out. That like the marketing was terrible, and apparently the story was also bad.
Dude, you know what the problem is? It's streaming services. Because people are like, why would I go see this movie when it's going to be on a streaming service that I can watch in like 2 weeks?
So are streaming services killing the?
I think in
the
a way
theaters?
they are. Because they just get same thing with Elemental. That movie should have never gone to theater. That should have gone straight to Disney Plus.
It probably would have done better.
yeah,
if
it
it
probably
went-
would have gotten better reviews. But
Yeah, if it
people
went straight to Disney.
and it's like, but the studios have trained people to think like that because
Yeah.
they have these services that they just put the movies on two or 3 weeks.
It's
later.
not only that, but it's also like I think shows are also killing movies. Shows are destroying movies because like shows, you have every niche audience has its own show now. There's a show about everything that you can like get into, and you can get more in depth. You can binge watch it, spend more time watching it. It's a lot harder to convince someone to spend $30 on tickets to go to the movies. Everything's expensive there once you go. If you want to drink, fuck it, $10. You know what I mean? For like a Sprite or something. Sit there for 2.5 hours just to like
be disappointed.
because you don't have enough time like a show would to like flesh out your characters or whatever it may be. And it's just like there's a lot of things that are killing movies now.
Well, I think that's
nowadays.
one of them.
And
the
that's
streaming
one of them. The
services.
streaming services and like shows, I think, are like the two biggest things that like I went to go look for tickets because this is opening weekend for Indiana Jones.
I think it was.
It's opening
Yeah,
weekend.
it was opening weekend.
And I went to go look for like tickets and like all the theaters were wide open.
yeah,
Except
that's
for
Draft
crazy.
House.
Yeah, but
That's
that's Draft House,
crazy.
though. That's
Yeah.
different, you know.
No. Draft House is usually packed, bro. Like if it's a good movie, I can never get in Draft House like in a good row.
Well, yeah, no, we were saying Draft House,
Because
like,
we were gonna go see it at Draft House,
it was
all
sold
booked.
out. It was
Oh, yeah. Well,
But-
yeah.
It's different because like
those
you don't have
tinnies-
as
those tinnies are hot.
those tinnies are hot.
Yeah.
The
Draft House
grease,
is a different monster, man. It's so
yeah,
good.
it's a whole different experience.
Tinnies
And
are hot.
it is,
AMC
but that's the
has
thing.
to be like dying. Like
Oh,
you
they're,
know,
they're shitting their britches right now.
They're shitting their britches.
Like, how good can we make our popcorn?
How much more butter can we put into this popcorn?
yeah, it's just a bunch of like streaming quality movies that they're trying to release in the theaters, and it's just not.
It's just
it's not working.
It's not working.
It's interesting because this, going back to Indiana Jones real quick, the movie was filmed during COVID. It got delayed a bunch, and I guess I could kind of feel it. And I wonder
could feel
how
it.
how much longer is this gonna go? How many movies got delayed in that 2-year period of time?
A lot.
Like,
A
how
lot.
long is this gonna
A
take?
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean,
Like, we're sitting here in 2025, and
Look,
they're
it's-
talking about movies that got delayed in COVID.
hmm
That's
It's gonna keep going because it's not over.
yeah.
oh
Yeah, I don't know about that.
man, when does Oppenheimer come out?
Oh, dude! So that was one of the trailers that
Oppenheimer.
I saw was Oppenheimer. Oh my god, I can't remember the last time I was this excited to see a movie. Than for Oppenheimer,
Comes out July 21st.
we gotta go.
Same
we
day as
gotta go
Barbie.
opening weekend. So, I
Wait,
know.
Did y'all see any other trailers that y'all? Because I watched it on my.
Dude, I saw some like stupid
service.
ones.
I'm trying to remember what trailers I had.
There was one that was like so unmemorable, and it was like an action thing about like robots and how like robots are taking over the world.
What?
It's like an AI thing, but then there's like an AI child that's like the key to something. It
oh,
looks
that
so
sounds
stupid.
like that sounds pretty common.
Yeah, it was like iRobot and the Terminator like mixed together or something like that. It just looked really bad.
Interesting.
Yeah, I really only remember Mission Impossible.
Okay.
Think of
Haunted
anything else.
Mansion.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, the
Haunted
remake
Mansion
of
looked
Haunted
pretty good.
Mansion.
Is that Jack Black?
No.
Oh.
That
It's with
a
Eddie
Dis-
Murphy.
Oh,
The original was with Eddie
The original
Murphy.
with Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
Danny DeVito's in it,
Okay.
which is pretty cool.
The guy from Get Out's in it. What's his name?
Kaluuya?
No,
No,
his
no,
friend.
not him.
Or no, the guy that says Get Out.
Yeah, that
He's
guy.
like, Get Out.
Oh.
So Haunted
Scary
Mansion.
guy.
Haunted Mansion is actually a ride at Disneyland.
Yeah.
And I went on it. So it's the same thing as Pirates, because Pirates of the Caribbean, that was a ride
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
it was a movie. It's the same thing.
Okay.
It's like a ride.
Got it.
That could be fine. I'm not going to see it, but it could
It
be
looked-
fine.
I'll see it on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I'll see it when it comes out on streaming.
I'm not going to go to the
Sad-
movies.
Sad thing there.
Hey, I mean, look, it is what it is.
It is
They
what
did
it
it. They
is.
did it to themselves.
Yeah.
They did it to
They
themselves.
did it to
by
themselves.
taking away the DVD.
But it's not like necessary. Yeah, they took away the DVD. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Taking away the DVD.
I liked a good DVD. You just pop it in.
Pop that bitch in. Blu-ray's dead. Blu-ray's not a thing anymore.
I mean, they still
Oh,
release
Blu-ray had
them.
its time in the sun.
Yeah.
Burned hot.
Yep. Remember Betamax? Wasn't Betamax a thing too? I think that was a little before our time.
I don't remember.
I think
that.
DVD and Betamax were like in competition or something,
Hmm.
and DVD won.
I don't know.
Possibly.
Or maybe it was Blu-ray and Betamax.
Anything else, boys?
I think it's a wrap.
Should we
I think
cut
it's-
it there?
I think it's a wrap. The movies are dying.
Which we've been talking about for a while.
Yeah, Indiana Jones sucks. Now
It was like average, but for the
Right, 6.
yeah, average,
Indiana
but the
Jones
franchise is like too legendary for that to happen. But
yeah,
Right.
you can't let that happen. Kathleen
Can't- you
Kennedy
can't let
needs
she's
to
a
go.
criminal.
She's a criminal.
She is a criminal.
Her,
She
con-
needs
her
to be.
contract is up next year. So
Thank
hopefully it's,
God, is
so
it
hopefully-
really?
Yeah. So hopefully they end
Woo!
it.
Dude, there's gonna be so much celebrating on Twitter if
On this
if they don't renew.
podcast.
Yeah, we'll throw a party.
But we'll throw a party.
We'll throw a live
pizza party?
a live party. Yeah, come join us.
Oh
with
man.
the death of Kathleen Kennedy, not literally,
Figuratively.
but maybe. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the All Season Long podcast. Appreciate you tuning in. Check out our Instagram at All Season Long Pod. If you want to check out some content we haven't posted in a while.
Ooh,
So we should,
yeah,
we should-
oops.
yeah, we should probably do that. But yeah, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening, we appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a like and review. Also, check us out on YouTube. All Season Long podcast on YouTube. We're starting to film these babies.
They'll be up there eventually.
Yeah. If you want to see Clay's beautiful face, you can check that out.
Yes, sir.
Clay, how's the puppy? Puppy doing well?
Oh yeah.
Let's get a pup update.
It's
Pup
probably
date?
pooping upstairs as we
Pup
speak.
date.
Well, pup date. All right. Well, we appreciate everyone.
Happy 4th, everybody.
Yeah, happy 4th.
Happy
Let's
4th
go,
of
Joey.
July.
Come on, baby.
America, baby.
8 in a row.
8 in a row. Let's do it.